Pod Apostle. Help us build the kingdom. Like, share, and subscribe. At funerals, usually very often there's one of the prayers of the faithful that speaks about, those who are grieving the person who has died having their faith shaken by death, and that we pray for that their faith would not be shaken by the reality, by the grief of death. But let me tell you, having recently experienced the death of my mom, it is something, Death has this power that I don't know about you, but I've never seen anybody rise from the dead. And so when Jesus says, do you believe this? He's talking about the resurrection of the dead, right? And this is foundational to our faith. The resurrection of the dead. And when we celebrate Mass, it is the resurrected Lord I hold over the altar. Right? It's the resurrected Christ. It's the living Christ. Every single time we celebrate Mass, we are celebrating, we are emphasizing, we are exercising our faith in the resurrection. It's not something we wait until we experience death to do. It's something that we do. And so here Lazarus is dead in the tomb. Do you believe this? And Jesus is asking every single one of us that question. I heard a few years ago, I remember listening to a story by Mother Angelica, and she was talking about how much time and energy, how many hours and how much money we spend gussying up this body that is so temporary. And how much time and energy do we spend on our soul? And I know I'm speaking to the choir here. I know I am. I want to talk for just 1 second. Moses in the Old Testament, right? Moses, you want to go consult God, go talk to Moses, right? Guess what the people got tired of? They got tired of going to see Moses. They said, we can talk to God too. That's in the Old Testament. Imagine that. We don't want to bother with no church. We just our own Moses. Well, today is the 57th anniversary of a rather significant moment in church history. In 1968, on July 29th, Pope Paul VI issued a document called Humanae Vitae on human life. And he reiterated the dignity, the sacredness, and the life-giving power of the marital act, of the sexual union between a man and a woman. And he reiterated the fact that it was a sin to block the life-giving, the fecundity of the sexual embrace by artificial contraception. It split the church. And we've been suffering from that split in the church ever since, horribly. I think the truth of that teaching is being more and more embraced by people who actually want to be Catholic. They want to know what the church actually teaches. And the church teaches that sex is sacred, and that sex should be open to life, and that marriage is a sacrifice, and that children are a gift, and all of this. And oh, by the way, that's all so very difficult, so you need God's mercy too, right? Yes or no? Yeah, we do. And let me tell you, if you were told by your priest or your bishop or whoever that, that artificial contraception was going to go away and the church was going to change their teaching, that was either someone who was misinformed or someone who was lying to you. One or the other. And, and I encourage people, if you've never confessed that sin, if you did that, confess it. And I know now that doesn't apply to you anymore, so it's easy, okay? But still, in humility, we recognize, we don't become hypocrites and start condemning people. We just strive to humbly embrace. I'm telling you, just look around. Have we forgotten the sacredness of the body? Yes or no? Now, what do you think the root of that is? Just spend some time in prayer on that. So Martha, Mary, Lazarus, Moses, the teaching authority of the church, the power to rise from the dead. Beautiful stuff, but I can't go without talking about this 57th anniversary of a very significant moment in church history, reiterating a timeless truth.